everyone. My name is Casey Pacheco, and I am the Executive Director of Nurses in Charge. Welcome, welcome. If you were looking at this video, you have seen the lovely Angela Nelson. She is our Director of Global Communities, and our interview here is for you. We want you to get to know Angela, get to know her spirit, get to know her story, and get to see how she's here to support you, but as a leader and as someone who is a nurse in charge, you can support her in her role helping nurses in charge grow. Welcome, Angela. We're so happy to have you. Thank you for joining our team.
Thank you so very much, Casey, for having me here and welcoming me into the Nurses in Charge community. I am so excited to be here with each of these wonderful people.
Awesome. You have such a beautiful spirit. When Dr. Nyampu and myself, when we met with you separately and we met with you together. Then we had our whole steering committee meet with you and we just loved you. We said she is the perfect fit for global communities. So just giving the viewers, if they're looking, they might say, Director of Global Communities, what is that? Right? You want to share a little bit of what that is? What is the Director of Global Communities?
Absolutely. As Director of Global Communities with Nurses in Charge, I will work closely with each of the communities and the regional directors to make sure that they have all of the support that they need to build their communities and focus on their outreach and see how we can best support them. So I will work directly with Dr. Nyampu, the founder of Nurses in Charge, and I will kind of, pass things back and forth and make sure that we have the best support system so that all of our community members can feel seen, heard, loved, and appreciated because every voice matters.
Yes, that is so beautiful. You put that perfectly. And Angela, something I was thinking about, we are global, so all around the world, as a community builds, usually you have a different culture in each community. But you're the person who's going to make sure that when someone interacts with nurses in charge, they're going to say, wow, this is the culture. I love it. I feel so loved, seen, supported, even with different cultures, allowing them to be themselves. But you're going to make sure that we have that same vibe. I say it's a vibe, throughout the entire nonprofit organization. So you got big shoes, but you have a big heart, and we're just so happy to have you here.
Well, thank you so very much. And that's one of the things that drew me to Nurses in Charge is the diversity and the fact that it's global and focuses on inclusivity because that is what the world needs more of. And especially when it comes to nurses, because it doesn't matter if you've been a nurse for a year, 10 years, 25 years, or what have you, you all have the same challenges, struggles, and you need that support. So I love Dr. Nyampu's vision and Casey as executive director, everything that you are doing to build that community and bring people together in a collaborative effort to make sure that nurses are supporting each other. And so this is huge and a great honor. Yes.
And that leads me to talk about Angela. You are not a nurse, but this is like so beautiful because here it is. We're saying, hey, nurses, we kind of have a little bad stigma as nurses eating their young. And we are here to say, no, we're nurses. We're going to really nurture each other. We actually coined the term pioneer nurse, whereas nurses who nurture other nurses, but also having the humility and vulnerability to say, hey, nurses, we need other people from other professions to pour into us as well. We pour into literally everybody around the world, and we are open. We're not above other people nurturing us. So, Angela, can you give us a little bit about your background and your experience and how that plays into this nurturing community and culture that you are heading up for Nurses in Charge?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Casey. I am not a nurse. However, I have a heart for nurses, a heart for all nurses. And so many stories and so many friends that are nurses and of all different specialties. And they've always held a special place in my heart. And so I want to say that first and foremost, because I love people that love people. I'm a people person. I love people. And nobody loves people more than nurses. Nobody gives more of themselves than nurses. And you truly have that servant's heart and you want to make the world a better place. And you see humanity at its worst. And you see us when we come into this world, you see us as we transition from this world. And so nurses are the most important people, I think, when it comes to your professions. And so my background, the reason why this is so important to me and why I feel like I'm a great fit for the director of global communities and with all the diversity is because I came from a sales background actually. This background was with trade show sales. Now, trade show sales, I was, oh my goodness, every single different trade show you can think of, everything from aeronautical and aerospace technology to heavy industrial. And my favorite trade shows by far were the medical trade shows.
Yes.
So there was the ACC, the American College of Cardiology trade show. I worked that every single year. The ASH show, the American Society of Hematology. There was the Hinman Dental Show, all of the shows that were focused on health and wellness, specifically medical professionals, were my favorites. And I asked myself, why? And it's because you're dealing with, should I say, a higher technology, all of the innovative technologies and cutting edges, that were coming out with new ways of implementing healthcare. And working with the nurses and the anybody in the medical professions, the doctors, it just really inspired me and just really spoke to my heart. And I heard their heart and I saw what they were doing to better themselves and become more equipped to better help humanity. And I thought that was so important. And also in these medical trade shows, there were people from around the world. It was truly global. And my
Okay.
favorite thing is to meet people from all over the world, different backgrounds, different cultures. And I
Yes.
don't know if I shared this with you, Casey. I like to learn the words thank you in as many languages as possible. So, like in Romanian, mulțumesc. In Cherokee, it's wado. In, of course, Spanish, gracias.
Yes.
And so you've got Polish, toda, or dziękuję, excuse me. So all these different, I always thought if I could at least say thank you and express my gratitude,
Yes.
that would transcend any language barriers,
Mhm.
any cultural differences, and help bring us together. And so I'm big on gratitude, and I'm just so grateful for nurses. And so I look forward to bringing people together as part of the, yeah, global operations here.
That's so beautiful, Angela. And as we work and train together, nurses in charge, we're just in our beginning stages, but as we work and train together, and as you really get into your field, I'll show you some of the things that I do or have done that our members really, really enjoy. And it's by using technology to really speak to the language of their heart. Because when we send out memos and memorandums, newsletters, not everybody speaks English, right? So we have to put it into their language. So I'll show you how to do that. But also, you are in the health and wellness space yourself. You are the CEO of Achieve Wellness Together, and this beautiful brand. You really help in your personal brand. You help with stress management, and you help the nurses so much with their own. You help people with their own health and wellness. So bringing that background to this community where nurses take care of other people, but not so much ourselves, not all the time. We need this reminder. Um, something that's interesting, that our viewers may know, is that in 2024, we did a full integration of the Burnout Prevention Network with Nurses in Charge. So it's not just clinicians, it's not just about raising your practice level, but it's also about burnout prevention. Dr. Niampu and I were very, very passionate about burnout prevention. And just having you keep your eye on our leaders, making sure that they're not burning out, making sure that the communities are not stressed out because our heart is big, but our resources are little. You're going to make sure we manage all of that so that the culture can really be refreshing when nurses come and not just one more thing they have to do or be part of. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
So I wanted to know, and this is for the viewers looking, what type of people are you looking for? So you're going to be going through all the different regional directors, and each of the regional directors, they cover continents. So they're over continents. So as they build out each and every country and the communities within those countries, what are the type, as their team grow, your team is going to grow as well. So what are the type of people you're looking for to join you in managing communities? What are the type of people you're looking for to lead in culture in whatever location they are?
I would say I am looking for leaders. I am looking for people that, which I believe everybody in the Nurses in Charge community is a leader, people that are connectors, people that find joy in connecting other people and building others up. That means promoting them, helping them implement self-care, like you were talking about, burnout prevention, which I work with as well, when it comes to anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. And nurses are, as you mentioned earlier, well known for that because you're always giving, always giving. And one of my favorite sayings, you can't pour from an empty cup. So that's where we're trying to make sure we're taking care of our community. So I want leaders that are well connected,
Mhm,
that have that, how can I say, that skill of identifying strengths in others and
mhm,
building up strengths in others, and can communicate effectively with a team and also be aware of if they're feeling overwhelmed or overworked or if they need support, because a lot of times it can be body language, maybe it's the words we use, and just paying close attention, so somebody that is maybe even intuitive as well.
mhm,
And so people that are very strong and can take that responsibility on, and I am here to support them. So
mhm,
it's not one more thing to add on. This is a way to already embrace the gifts that you have innately and bringing that community together. And so we will talk about, what you need,
mhm,
what your vision is, and together we can collaborate, and co-create
mhm.
that so that you have what you need for each and every community. So that's who I'm looking for. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And Angela, when I think about you and I think about your team that you're growing, I think about glue that keeps everything stuck together. Because sometimes, the directors and the chairs, they can be more external facing, where they're meeting with people, they're doing partnerships, they're doing business, they're the face of Nurses in Charge. But when I see your position, and the people who are working with you on your team, they may be people who are not so extroverted, but they know this nurse joined 3 months ago and they were not doing too well and we haven't seen them. Let's check on them. Or they know, hey, this so and so had a birthday party or so and so didn't tell anybody, but they got a promotion, right? They are the people who are actually, they might not be outward for everyone to see, but they're looking to see who's who coming in and how, like you said, how they can bring out their strengths and promote them. So no one's left
Absolutely.
behind.
And really being in touch, like you said, having that awareness is key if you have an awareness about yourself and about your community,
Yeah.
to see, like you said, this person, they haven't been showing up as much. Let's make sure they're okay.
Mhm.
People that are very aware and in touch with their community. And it doesn't have to be, like you said, somebody that's, extroverted, because I've noticed a lot of times the introverted people are the ones that are really in tune with
Mhm.
everything that's going on with people, all of the inner workings. So we celebrate all
Yeah.
introverted, extroverted, and a combination. Yes.
Yeah.
Because again, it's all about identifying your own strengths and talents and the same within others. Yeah.
Exactly. And everybody has a place. And we want to make sure
Yes.
they're properly placed, but also properly supported. So something that I would mention, so Nurses in Charge, we have been around for 2 years and we have spread to 19 countries, but people say, why don't you have more members in these countries? Now, whenever you build a community, it's so easy to have such a variety of personalities, perspectives, and agendas. So this is a really, really important part because we wanted to have leadership, good leaders like you and people on your team that grow as we grow. In nursing, there are so many different associations and memberships, and we wanted to do something different where people who came onto Nurses in Charge, not only do they feel the clinical support and progression of their career, but they also feel that family love. Just a little side note, when I joined Nurses in Charge, I knew it was gonna go. I knew every good thing could grow out of here. It was Dr. Niampu. It was all of her family members in Africa. I could hardly understand what anyone said, but the level of respect they had for each other, the love, the family, I felt like I was like, am I from Africa? Am I your sister? Because I felt so loved and so supported and so respected. And I said, there, of course, there's a lot of things we need to tweak, for growth and expansion. But this culture we have to preserve because there is very few places that has this culture. And I think your team, Angela, when you are looking out for the communities, I think you'll be able to maintain that loving family culture, but still professional.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that just drew me in when I met Dr. Niampu. I thought first of all, I saw a light. She just has this light about her, and you can
Yay.
just see it emanating. And I said, ooh, I like that. She is one of those people that's just, she smiles and you feel it. You don't just see it, you feel it. And the same with you, Casey. So I met both of you and I'm like, I think I'm home. I found I found a community.
Mhm.
And like you said, it's so important to have that respect. That's something, there's enough, and not, I don't want to dwell on negativity, there's enough divisiveness in the world. It's
Yes.
time to bring us together and have that cohesiveness. And part of that is, yes, acknowledging differences of opinion,
Mhm.
different points of view, different cultural backgrounds, different ethnicities, different, everything, and even in Africa, as you know, there's so many different, not just dialects, but ways of doing
It's
things.
true. It's true.
And so it's not just one country is one way and it is so much deeper than that. And we want to honor that and make sure everybody is seen, heard, loved, and respected. And that's something that I see so desperately needed in the nursing profession
Mhm.
worldwide.
Mhm.
I know personally in the United States, there are, so many nurses that are overworked. And I know it's not just here. I know it's a global, if you will, a global pandemic of just overwhelming our nurses and just piling more and more on them. And it's like, the patient nurse ratio is overwhelming. And
Yes.
then, oh, we don't want you to take breaks. We want you to work more double shifts, triple shifts. And,
Hard.
you want to have a break for what? No. You want to have maternity leave? No. I mean, there's so many injustices. And so bringing nurses together is going to give them a more powerful voice than singularly.
Hmm.
All the countries worldwide together to where we can actually work to impact the nursing industry and the nursing profession and embrace nurses, take care of them, help them with their self-care, guide them, to take better care of themselves and demand the respect in the workplace that they so deserve. So it's yeah, it's just oh my gosh, I'm just
Absolutely.
very, very happy about what Nurses in Charge is doing.
And we're so happy to have you here, Angela. So passionate. And I think, this video is going to go out. It's going to go out for our internal members, but it's also going to go out on our LinkedIn page. It's going to go out on our YouTube. So if someone's interacting, because I believe in attracting beautiful things to beautiful people. So if someone's attracted to this and they say, well, I want to be part of it, but I'm not a nurse, but I really am concerned about nurses and I would love to be on her team, you can join Nurses in Charge and you can actually interview with Angela to be a part of her team because Angela has the whole globe. She's the director of global communities. So just think about the United States alone. The United States is actually under the region of North America. So our regional director, Jamie Feldstein, she actually lives in Canada. And then under her is Amy, who is coordinating things for the United States. But look, we have 50 states in the United States. So that's a lot of different communities. So I'm saying this as an example that there is space for everyone. If everyone looks at this video and say, I want to be part of this, there is a lot of room for you and your beauty. So if you're looking at this, you join nursesincharge.org. It's very simple, nursesinCharge.org, and you can sign up there. And if you have been with us for a while, you're gonna see next year, 2025 and beyond, you're gonna see how amazing Angela is and how beautiful our community grows. I've been getting a lot of comments saying there's not a lot of interaction or there's only birthday celebrations and the conversation, we have so much to talk about and we're not really talking about it. But that's because we want to make sure that we have the support to actually watch and monitor the conversations and making sure that they're going in the positive and not negative and that they're actually progressive and that the things that is discussed is actually taken and put into the right bucket so that we can over time act and actually solve some of these problems and not just sit around and complain with each other. So there's good reason, but if you were part of Nurses in Charge and you said, I left because they weren't doing too much, well, I would say this is time to start making your way back because we have the right structure, we have the right people coming on board, and we have a lot of space for you. So my last question to Dr. I'm calling you Dr. Angela. You're Dr.
Doctor, I've been
Love.
promoted.
Dr. Love, Director of Global Communities. The last question I will have for you, Director, is what what do you foresee your role doing for Nurses in Charge? What are some of the things that you're looking forward to doing as you grow the communities?
Well, you just touched on a really big one is, maybe some members have left, or maybe some members have kind of, let Nurses in Charge fall by the wayside because maybe they didn't feel like they were being heard. So that is going to change. Absolutely going to change because I want to hear from all of the regional directors. I look forward to meeting with each and every one. I believe Dr. Niampu is going to introduce me to all of the community directors as well. And by meeting with them, I know that, I'll meet probably everybody eventually. So it's going to be exciting, but I want to make sure that everybody is heard. So what I'm looking for is, like you said, ideas. So if you have a challenge, present challenges with three possible solutions if you have, or at least one solution with that. With each challenge, have a solution. And then we will look at that and present it, and make sure that you are heard and that we put it, as you say, in the right bucket to make sure that everything is flowing as it should so that we can be the most effective support system possible for our nurses worldwide. So that is the biggest change that I want to see because I believe that you have a voice, and God gave us a voice
Mhm.
because we're meant to speak and
Mhm.
be heard. And
Mhm.
so that is number one, the most important thing. And then, of course, being respected